So basically it's this video right here. It's two videos actually. This one and then it's another one where she kind of grabs at her groin a little bit, right? So let's take a look at this. Okay, she's walking. Now, they were pointing out that she was kind of making faces. Now, granted, it's the sun, right? I think the sun is there as well, so I can't necessarily say that's what's going on here. But she looked like...
That limp you see, that's not normal. And the expressions on her face tell a story that Caitlin Clark's public statements aren't fully capturing. She said she's at 100%, that her groin injury is behind her. But watch the footage closely. Does that look like someone fully healed and moving without restriction? This matters because we're not talking about just any player. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. She carried 44 regular season games, pushed through the playoffs, and now we're seeing her overseas in training, visibly uncomfortable even just walking across the court. These are warning signs that were visible long before anyone wanted to admit them. Her body is signaling that recovery may not be complete, despite the confidence of her statements. And for a player with her level of impact, someone who draws attention, drives viewership, and represents the league on the biggest stages, how she manages her health isn't just a personal concern. It affects the team, the league, and the expectations of every fan watching. Being honest about the situation now could prevent bigger setbacks later.
Now, I also want to show this one here. This is the other clip people were showing me. Right there. Well, she kind of grabbed, right? She kind of reach for her groin a little bit. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know. Now, I remember Lisa Leslie saying that an injury like this could last forever. It could stay with...
Lisa Leslie didn't sugarcoat groin injuries when she spoke about them. They can stay with you forever. Not weeks, not months, forever. Watching Caitlin Clark in that second clip, reaching for her groin mid-movement, you begin to see why concern is rising. What makes this particularly worrying is the training footage from day 3 overseas. There are almost no highlights of Clark. Think about that. This is a player who normally produces highlight reels just during warm-ups. Day 1 had clips. Day 2 had clips. Day 3? Just one. That's not random. The emerging pattern points to someone either managing lingering pain or actively guarding against injury. Both situations are problematic. When a player hesitates, second-guesses their body mid-play, or avoids certain movements, performance suffers. Worse, compensating for an injury can create new problems, putting other muscles and joints at risk. For a player of Clark's caliber, this is more than just a minor setback. It's a critical moment for recovery management, because rushing back or ignoring warning signs could derail not only her performance, but also the momentum she's built for herself, her team, and the league.
She's fine. You know, maybe still having on her mind that that groin is hurt, but she's really okay. So maybe she just kind of, you know how you got to work yourself into playing at 100% and not worrying about your last injury, right? So it could be that too. And then also there was a report, not really a report, but it was some rumors about Caitlin dealing with a stalker at her hotel room. Now, I was going to report that yesterday, but I did want to get that from a more credible source, right? Instead of just a tweet. So that's why I didn't necessarily bring it to you all, because I didn't know if it was true or not. But yeah, nonetheless, if it is true that that happened. And
there's another layer to consider that hasn't gotten enough attention. Reports emerged about a supposed stalker incident at Caitlin Clark's hotel during this overseas trip. None of these reports have been confirmed by major outlets, which is why they remain in the rumor category. But if true, it adds a serious mental strain on top of her physical challenges. Think about it. An elite athlete trying to perform while managing both lingering pain and genuine concern for personal safety. Athletes aren't robots. You can't just switch off fear or anxiety, especially when your life may have been at risk hours before stepping onto the court. The combination of mental stress and a lingering groin injury, something Lisa Leslie warned could last forever, creates a perfect storm of obstacles. Groin injuries are particularly tricky because those muscles are involved in almost every movement. Walking, sitting, standing, running, cutting, jumping, you name it. You can't truly rest a groin without becoming completely sedentary. So when Caitlyn says she's 100%, it may not mean fully healed. It could mean, I'm at 100% of what I can realistically do while staying active. That subtle distinction matters, especially for fans, coaches, and anyone tracking her return to full performance.
Injured at. I would say maybe just kind of second guessing her durability at this time as she works her way back into playing. That would be my guess. All right, but y'all let me know in the comment section, how are y'all feeling about this? Do y'all think she might still be having problems, or maybe it's just a mental thing that she's trying to get over right now? Now, I do want to swing the conversation over to the CBA negotiation. We have some new news here from The Athletic. All right, they ended up stating the WNBA recently rejected a WNBPA.
The mental side of this can't be ignored. Even if her groin injury has physically healed, the fear of re-injury is real and powerful. Athletes talk about it all the time. That split second of hesitation before making a cut, that moment of doubt before going up for a contested layup. Those tiny pauses separate someone who is fully confident in their body from someone still protecting themselves. Watch the footage of Caitlin Clark. There's a carefulness, a deliberate way she moves that wasn't there before the injury. That's not rust, it's self-protection. When an athlete compensates for an injury, the body builds patterns to shield vulnerable areas, and sometimes those patterns linger even after recovery. The real question is whether she can push through and regain her pre-injury form, or whether this cautiousness becomes her new normal. That matters a lot, because the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark at full strength. Ratings show it. Viewership spikes when she's on the court. Attendance numbers confirm it. Arenas fill when she plays. Her performance isn't just personal. It drives the league's momentum, visibility, and growth. Without her at her peak, the league feels the impact at every level.
And we have some new news here from The Athletic. All right, they ended up stating the WNBA recently rejected a WNBPA proposal in which players would receive or would have received 33% of total revenue for each year of the agreement, sources said. So they wanted 33% of that revenue. Like I stated, they are hanging that hat on the revenue. And when I didn't see the percentages a few times, I already knew, yeah, they're not going to accept it. So it's good to see a number finally on what they want from that revenue share, and it's 33%.
Now let's turn to another major development that will shape the WNBA's future: the CBA negotiations. This is where the math and politics collide. The WNBPA has proposed that players receive 33% of total league revenue. At first glance, that seems reasonable. NBA players get around 50% of basketball-related income, so 33% might feel like a fair compromise. But there's a key detail that complicates everything. The WNBA itself currently controls only 42.1% of total league revenue. Private investors take 15.8%, and other allocations account for the remainder. So when the players ask for 33% of the total 100% pie, they are effectively asking for the majority of the league's own share. Do the math. 33% of 100% when the league only receives 42.1% leaves less than 10% for everything else. Facilities, travel, marketing, operations, staff salaries, expansion costs, and all the infrastructure that keeps a professional sports league running. In other words, while 33% might sound fair on paper, it isn't sustainable under the current financial structure. Without careful negotiation, this could strain resources, impact operations, and create tension between players, the league, and investors.
I think you would definitely see it then. So if they could just figure out how to get the private investors out of the pot, maybe then they could get that 33%. But right now, man, you have three parties sharing it: the WNBA, the NBA, and those private investors. But it's just really tough to see like 33% from 42% of 100%. I hope I'm not confusing anybody or what I'm saying here, but the WNBA only get 42% of their revenue. It's basically the NBA gets 42.1, the WNBA gets 42.1 of the revenue share, and then
the Players Union has also proposed that WNBA teams carry 12 players at all times, instead of the current 11 to 12 range. That makes sense. Roster depth is critical, especially given the injury issues we've seen this season. But here's where it gets more complex. The proposal also allows teams to sign up to 2 additional developmental players. These players would receive a stipend, could appear in up to 10 games per season at a prorated minimum salary, and would get full benefits. Think about that. A player appearing in just 10 games, earning a fraction of a veteran's salary, would still receive the same benefits package as someone making 6 figures. From a player welfare standpoint, this is fantastic. But from a business perspective, it's a major cost increase. In most industries, part-time employees don't receive full benefits, so this is a notable financial commitment. That said, the idea has merit. Take Deja Kelly as an example. Instead of being cut, she could remain a developmental player. She gains professional experience, the team maintains depth, and young talent gets a clear pathway into the league, something that currently doesn't exist. It's a thoughtful approach to player development, even if the financial implications make it a potential sticking point in negotiations.
With it all, man. Maybe they see something I don't see, but at the end of the day, I just think they have to get rid of those private investors. Get rid of them, man. Pay them off, whatever you have to do, man. Buy that share from them. Nonetheless, man, this is everything that I wanted to bring to you all. Y'all let me know in the comment section. How do y'all feel about all this? How do you feel about the Caitlin Clark situation? Do y'all think she's okay? How do you feel about the CBA negotiation and the direction that it's going? Do you think these players can get that 33%? Do you think they'll find a median with it all? Could they get, I know they went up to 14% from, I think it was like 10 to 14%. In between those numbers, they didn't necessarily give us an exact number that the WNBA proposed, but it is good to see what the players want. They want 33%. Interesting. Do y'all think they'll get that? Let me know in the comments.
The Players Union is proposing an expanded WNBA season. 48 games once the league has 15 to 17 teams, increasing to 50 games when it hits 18. The league itself has suggested even more games starting in 2027. More games theoretically mean more revenue, more TV content, higher ticket sales, and more opportunities for performance bonuses. On paper, that's a win-win for everyone. But reality isn't that simple. The WNBA just completed a 44-game season, and injuries were rampant. Caitlin Clark's groin injury is a prime example. Expanding the schedule without addressing medical staff, travel conditions, training facilities, or rest days is risky. And funding those improvements comes from the same revenue pool the union wants 33% of. This is why negotiations are complicated. The union wants a fixed percentage now, so salaries automatically grow with revenue. The league argues that revenue needs to grow first before it's redistributed. Private investors currently hold 15.8% of revenue, which limits flexibility. Here's where Caitlin Clark's health becomes critical. The league's recent surge in ratings, attendance, and sponsorships is tied directly to her performance. If she can't stay healthy, projected revenue growth, and the justification for these CBA proposals, becomes uncertain. So the math, the negotiations, and even expansion plans all hinge on one factor: Caitlin Clark being fully fit. Her recovery isn't just personal, it's an economic factor for the entire league. Do you think she'll be 100% by the season start? Should the union accept a smaller percentage in exchange for better medical support? This is the high-stakes reality behind the headlines.